So I've been making a list of my top 5 college quarterback prospects in the NFL, and I don't like that. I don't like what I've done. I look back at my old work, and I'm like, I don't like what I did. Because the word prospect insinuates that there's potential. And how do you rank potential? You don't. You know, Drew Lock has a great arm, and this guy, but how do you project what's going to happen? I don't know. All I can do is evaluate what I've seen so far to this point. I can't project how a guy's going to turn out 5 years from now. I don't know. I can tell you what I think might happen, but I can't analyze the future. Not really. I can try. I can look at Baker Mayfield, for example. Maybe he's changed the narratives on Big 12 quarterbacks. Or I can look at, well, Josh Allen had bad accuracy in college, was kind of a mess, and he got good coaching and fixed up some stuff, and Josh Allen looks better in the NFL than he did in college. We can learn from the past and use it to project the future, but the truth is, I don't like ranking prospects. I don't like ranking potential. That's weird to me. So we're 6 weeks into the college football season, and I want to make a new list. I'm going to tell you guys quarterbacks I like a lot as NFL prospects. There's 3 piles. There's the good pile, the bad pile, and the pile that's too early to judge. So first, I want to tell you the quarterbacks I like as NFL prospects. Next, I want to tell you the quarterbacks I do not like as NFL prospects. And finally, I'm going to tell you the quarterbacks I think it's just too early to judge. So we'll start with quarterbacks I like. I really, really love Justin Herbert. I'm not ranking anybody. I'm telling you the guys I like, I feel good about. Justin Herbert, the quarterback at Oregon, in my opinion, is the number 1 quarterback in next year's NFL draft class. I love him. He's got great movement in the pocket, tons of arm strength, and I want to define arm strength for you. People get confused. Arm strength is not how far down the field you can throw. If you can throw the ball 80 yards, but you can't drive it, I don't care. Arm strength to me is, can you drive the ball into tight windows downfield? Can you throw the ball 40 yards on a line into a small window the size of a car window? If you can do that, you have a ton of arm strength. Arm strength is not how far you can throw the ball. It's how hard can you drive the ball on a line. Your best fastball on a line, how quickly can you drive it? And for example, Joe Burrow doesn't have weak distance down the field, but Joe Burrow, LSU's quarterback, can't drive the ball downfield on a 40-yard out route. It's not possible. He doesn't have that arm strength. Justin Herbert does. And he also has great accuracy. Accuracy is location. Location is not throwing the ball to an area. It's a small window on a receiver. If a guy's open by a yard or 2, can you thread the needle? Justin Herbert has all of that. He has arm strength. He has accuracy. He is fantastic. His anticipation is really, really good. He can anticipate and throw the ball before a guy breaks. So if I'm going to break over the middle, the minute I plant my foot, Justin Herbert already has the ball out, so that when I turn my head, the ball hits me in the chest. Justin Herbert is the best quarterback right now in college football, my opinion. It's close with Tua, but I think Justin Herbert is better. A lot of Alabama fans get mad at me, and that's where I want to now shift our attention to is Tua Tagovailoa. I love Tua. He's a future number 1 pick. He's got great movement in the pocket. He's a lead at reading defenses. He's good at identifying matchups. And what he does most interestingly to me is scrambling. Very similar to the way Russell Wilson runs around behind the line of scrimmage. He runs, but he does not run to run. He runs to extend plays, keeping his eyes downfield, finding people open down the field. Nobody does that better in college football than either Tua or Gardner Minshew. We'll talk about Gardner Minshew in a minute. But Tua and Gardner both buy time better than maybe anybody in college football, and it's really impressive. I don't know. I think Justin Herbert I think Justin Herbert's the best quarterback right now. But aside from him, Tua is incredibly special. He will be a number 1 overall pick somewhere down the road. He's the best quarterback Alabama's ever had. I know who's gone to Alabama. I know. Tua is different. He's special. He's the best quarterback Alabama's ever had, and especially the best quarterback Nick Saban has ever had. Tua is a game changer. Let's talk about Will Grier. I want to compare Will Grier, the West Virginia quarterback, to Drew Lock, the Missouri quarterback. So Will Grier is incredibly polished. He's tremendous. He makes great decisions, and he does it consistently. The only thing lacking from Will Grier is his arm strength, his ability to drive the ball downfield. If it's really windy, there's a bunch of debris in the air, I am not supremely confident that Will Grier can drive the ball 40 yards on a line into a tight window. I don't know. I don't think he has that arm strength. Drew Lock does. Missouri's quarterback does. And so if I'm a guy scouting Will Grier, if I'm in New York or Cleveland or Pittsburgh, I am not confident that I want Will Grier on my team because I don't know that he has the arm strength to deal with the elements. But if I'm in Dallas, inside, if I'm in Jacksonville, Florida, if I'm in Tampa Bay, if I'm playing in a dome, I love Will Grier because what Will Grier does is he's great at reading defenses, he understands matchups, and he makes great, fantastic decisions. But a team like New York probably shouldn't recruit or draft Will Grier because I don't know that he is a good fit for that weather. Drew Lock is the opposite of Will Grier. Drew Lock makes a lot of questionable decisions. He's not awful, but he has moments of inconsistency that I don't like. For example, he had a pick six on Saturday against South Carolina State where he's on the goal line. It's a screen pass. Receiver falls over. He's on his own goal line. He has defenders coming, and he looked like he just kind of panicked. He throws the ball up straight at a defender into his hands. The guy runs like 7 yards for a pick six, got a touchdown. It was like, what are you doing? That's a terrible decision. Don't you know that's a horrible decision? Throw the ball in the dirt, move on. And too often we see Drew Lock make very questionable throws. For example, there was a 3rd and 7 in the red zone. And this is a game against South Carolina State last week where Drew Lock's team kicked 6 field goals. They were 5 for 6 kicking field goals. They lost by 2 points. If one of those drives, the 6 times they kicked field goals, if one of those drives they can score a touchdown, they win the game. And on 3rd and 7 in the red zone, Drew Lock had a crosser wide open in front of his face. And instead of throwing it, he threw a contested ball into the end zone that got tipped away. And I was confounded. I was confused. I was like, Drew Lock, what are you doing? And too often when I watch Drew Lock, I think, what are you doing? Why are you throwing there? I don't understand. And I must admit something, Will Grier, the West Virginia quarterback, has better coaching. He has a better scheme, better offensive play calling, and he has better teammates, better people around Will Grier. But it still does not make up for the fact that Drew Lock makes bad decisions sometimes that I don't understand. Maybe he's trying to make up for things that his team isn't very good. I don't know. What I do know is that Drew Lock is a great fit in New York. I would take Justin Herbert if I was the Giants, but if Drew Lock goes to New York, I won't fight it too hard. Even if he makes questionable decisions, if he throws the ball downfield, he's going to stretch the field with Odell Beckham Jr. He's going to use Saquon Barkley really well in the run game. I think Drew Lock could work in New York, especially with Pat Shurmur, a good creative head coach. But it is also worth noting, Will Grier, the West Virginia quarterback, is ahead of Drew Lock. It matters. Decision-making is incredibly important. Right now, Will Grier makes better decisions. I don't know that he has the arm strength of Drew Lock. In fact, I know he doesn't. He can't drive the ball downfield the same way that Drew Lock can. Well, Will Grier makes better decisions. He's a more polished quarterback this very moment than Drew Lock. But again, I like both. I want to now talk about Steven Montez, the quarterback at Colorado. He's a junior. He's 6'5". He's under the radar. Nobody's talking about him. I don't understand. He's having his best season he's ever had, and maybe that's part of why people are not taking him seriously. They're judging him on his old seasons instead of watching what he's doing in 2018. He has a new quarterback coach, Kurt Roper, who's doing wonders with him. He's making better decisions. He's making more accurate throws. Steven Montez is great. And of course, he's elevated by the fact that he has the best wide receiver in college football, Laviska Shenault. But it doesn't matter. He's making a ton of NFL throws. Steven Montez, Colorado's quarterback, is doing stuff an NFL quarterback would do, much more than most quarterbacks. I like Justin Herbert. I think Justin Herbert is the best quarterback prospect in college football right now. And can't be avoided, though. He still runs a college offense. Steven Montez runs a more he's in the shotgun often, but he runs a more pro-style offense, runs more pro-style concepts. And I think Steven Montez is a very highly underrated quarterback in college football. I don't know if it's because he plays in the Pac-12 or Colorado or because he wasn't very good last year. But put your eyes and your attention on Steven Montez. He is a wonderfully good quarterback recruit that I think could make waves in the future in the NFL draft. Now I want to talk about Gardner Minshew. Gardner Minshew is another quarterback I really, really like in college football right now. Another guy that's underrated. Here's the number one problem with Gardner Minshew. This is why he's not being talked about. Arm strength. He does not have the same. In fact, of all the quarterbacks I like, and I don't know. I'm going to talk about quarterbacks later that don't have enough arm strength. Joe Burrow does not have enough arm strength to win in the NFL. I think Gardner Minshew does, but it's right at that threshold. Gardner Minshew just barely has enough arm strength. And again, the arm strength definition is, can you drive the ball on a line downfield? There are times where Gardner Minshew, the ball flutters, it does get away from him a little bit, but decision-making, he's elite. Gardner Minshew might be reading defenses better than any other quarterback in college football. It's impressive. It's so good. In fact, what he's elite at is manipulating defenses with his shoulder, with his eyes, moving safeties, creating openings. A lot of people, they get guys open. People say, that guy's a playmaker with his legs, or that guy's a playmaker with his arm. This guy, Josh Allen had a cannon. He would just throw the ball places other people couldn't throw the ball. That's making plays with your arm. Lamar Jackson in college football made plays with his legs because Gardner Minshew doesn't have an incredibly great athletic ability, and because he doesn't really have elite arm strength, he has to create plays other ways with good fundamentals and with his brain. And the way he makes defenses do what he wants them to do. He manipulates defenses with his eyes and with his shoulders and creates open receivers by doing that. That's a special, unique quality. He's also not a running quarterback, but his ability to move in the pocket and extend plays is, I think, just as good as Tua, and I think maybe the best in college football. The way he slides left, slides right, steps up, moves around within the pocket, and then sometimes gets out of the pocket and extend plays. It's like he has eyes on the back of his head. Gardner Minshew, it cannot be understated. The movement in the pocket is the best in college football. Every single NFL quarterback should watch what he does. It's impressive. It's incredibly good fundamentals, and you can't find a lot of play like that in college football. I mean, he'll step right, find a window, step left, find a window. He's a graduate transfer, and he clearly, that fifth year, it's paying off. He's a expert level quarterback doing incredible stuff. He does not have an elite arm talent, but his brain is worth it. I mean, he really is a special quarterback. If he's not an NFL quarterback, he's going to make a great coach, and it cannot be understated. I think he's also scary good at blitz. When people blitz him, they don't win. He's not afraid of getting hit. He's not afraid of taking shots. If you blitz a guy, he'll find the window where that guy came from and throw touchdowns. It's happened repeatedly. It happened against USC. It cannot be understated. Gardner Minshew is one of the most in fact, I think he is single-handedly the most underrated quarterback in all of college football. Nobody's paying attention. He's up in the Pacific Northwest. Gardner Minshew, if he gets a shot, I would not be shocked if he made an NFL team. I really do think he's better than people realize. His fundamentals, his ability to manipulate defenses, nobody else does what he does in college football. He's a perfect fit for Mike Leach. He's better than the former quarterback Luke Falk, and nobody's talking about him. Got kind of excited. There are two guys left I want to talk about. Dwayne Haskins at Ohio State. He's only a sophomore, but he's incredibly interesting. Dwayne Haskins makes great decisions. His location down the field is my only concern. Against man coverage, I don't know that he can win. Because often what Dwayne Haskins does is, and he does it perfectly, he executes Urban Meyer's offense flawlessly. I think he's the best quarterback Urban Meyer's ever had. I do agree with that assessment. And Urban Meyer had Alex Smith. Dwayne Haskins throws to a spot. A 10-yard out goes there. A fade ball goes there. A hitch route goes there. And he throws to like a 5-yard area rather than a tighter window. He thinks big instead of thinking small. And I don't know that Dwayne Haskins yet, I think he will develop it, has the arm strength to win against man coverage. I just got to see more. There were a couple throws against Penn State that I was like, oh, it's impressive. And there were a couple throws I was like, you missed that one. And the level play isn't consistent enough, but he's only a sophomore. I'm assuming, when I say I like him, I'm assuming he's going to improve there. But we've already seen some improvement so far this year. I think he's going to continue to get better. And he's a really fun quarterback to watch. I do believe Dwayne Haskins is an NFL quarterback. And finally, the last quarterback I want to talk about that I like as an NFL prospect is Ryan Finley, the quarterback at NC State. He's good at a lot of things. He's not really elite at anything. He's kind of a jack of all trades. He's got a good arm. He's good, solid reading defense. He's got good footwork. There's a lot of good stuff. There's not a lot of great stuff. He's kind of vanilla. But he's like, you ever played Mario Kart? He's like the Mario character in Mario Kart. Mario's like a 7 out of 10 at everything. There's nothing he doesn't. He's not the fastest guy. He's not the best handling. He's not whatever the stats are in that game. But Mario's a 7 out of 10 at everything. That's how I feel about Ryan Finley. And I think a team like the Jaguars or the Cowboys should make a move at Ryan Finley. I am not convinced that Ryan Finley's ready to start immediately, but I like him. He's got a lot of potential. He has kind of a blind spot for linebackers. He struggles at reading linebackers. He doesn't have a lot of interceptions this year, but he's got a couple dropped interceptions that do concern me. But potential, He's highly accurate. I like Ryan Finley a lot. I think he's worth giving a shot in the NFL. I think a bust, but I don't think he's a franchise quarterback yet. But it seemed like the Patriots should draft Ryan Finley, let him sit for a while, let him learn, because I do think he's a sponge. He's going to learn, he's going to get better, and he's a viable quarterback in the NFL. I do like him as a prospect. My name is Zach Schaumler. I just want to say thank you so much for watching. It means a ton to me. This is my podcast, Strong Opinion Sports. It's my pride and joy, my favorite thing in the entire world. If you're not aware, you can subscribe to Strong Opinion Sports on iTunes, on SoundCloud, and on YouTube. You can find the full entire hour-long podcast on YouTube, as well as shorter, interesting breakouts like the one you just watched. And if you really want to help me grow, it would mean a lot to me if you shared this with your friends on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever it is. Help me grow Strong Opinion Sports by telling your friends about this show. My name is Zach Schaumler. Thank you so much, and have a great day.